Hey guys, welcome to HotLaps. This is Steve Sheehan. We are at Texas for 167 laps this week. Last week, Michael Conti won at Phoenix. Congrats to him. This segment should be fun. Hot lapping here with this car, this build on this track is a absolute blast. This track is one of the most line-sensitive cookie cutters you are going to find in racing. So let's get right into it here. Gonna hit the line at about 198, 199 miles per hour into turn 1 at 203. Down to the white line, not too low, not too high. It's very line sensitive. Gonna use the white line to hook the left front of the car right around the corner, exit turn 2 straight. Gets a little squirrely, but that's just because I'm wheeling it. Going to turn 3 a little bit higher than I normally would in race. Bring it down to the white line, get right back on the throttle, and run on the right rear all the way off like a dirt car. This thing is a blast to drive really hard. Cross the line for a 28.52. Now 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 are very, very different here. I'm going to talk about both in depth because I love this track and I love how line sensitive it is, and I love the way that you can save tires, especially through 1 and 2. 1 and 2, you can really use that white line to your advantage, but there is a little point in the middle of the apex. The white line, it's almost like it's like a triangle shape. If you enter too low and you hit that white line right where that point is, you are going to bounce the left front, go straight up the track, eat the right front. It's going to be terrible. Now, if you get that car turning and get that car arced and pointing down the track and hook that white line with the left front right after that point, you are going to come off the turn nice and straight. You're going to save your tires, especially the right front, and your long run car is going to be totally different than what it would be if you missed this corner by a foot. The most important thing is you really have to use that white line to help the car turn. If we slow it down going right around 1 and 2, you're going to see a little tiny seam about maybe a foot above the white line. You got to leave your left front right under where that seam is for that split second. You will feel the car hook. It's almost going to want to get sideways on you. How hard we enter turn 3 is going to make the difference between whether we scrape or do not scrape the balance. If we go in a little bit too low into turn 3, we are going to scrape the balance. So, like I said, very, very line sensitive. Right about at the apex, you're looking to pick up the throttle. You're not looking to get on the right rear too hard if you're looking for a long run, but on a really fast hot lap, get right back on the throttle and just wheel it all the way off the corner. And you will probably be turning to the right a little bit if it gets too loose, but it won't sacrifice too much speed. All it will do is sacrifice your long run car. We really have to stay right to the bottom. If you're not hooked up on the bottom, then you need to get hooked up on the bottom by tweaking the setup, changing your line, trying to find fresh air. Aero does make a pretty big difference here in this race with this build, with this car, especially at tracks like this. You're going to see guys get out in the lead and be too loose. You're going to see guys get back in the draft and look like they're way faster than the leader, but they're not going to be able to go anywhere. A guy that's going to win this race is going to be the guy that makes the move at the right time and can hold people off behind him. This race is 167 laps. We can go roughly about 60 laps on fuel. We're going to want tires for the most part every time. I know I said that at Phoenix last week, and lo and behold, people took 2 tires or people stayed out, and it caused havoc at the end. But it worked out, so people might do the same thing here this week. They may end up staying out late in the race and count on those yellows that people like, well, me last week caused. So we'll see what happens. I'd say people are going to want fresh tires because this car gets so sketchy on old tires, even on restarts. So that's it for Texas this week. In 2 weeks, we're actually at Richmond for 200 laps around that track. Can't wait to see what this car has to offer us there. And we'll see you guys in 2 weeks, and have fun watching the race.